The Sodor Railway, Season 2, Episode 6, The Unique Engine. Jack, Alfred, Atlas and Mox have been all sent to the sheds, as there's a new engine arriving. I wonder why we've all been called here, said Jack. Well, we're all mine engines, so he must be a mine engine, said Alfred. Who do you mean he must be a mine engine, said Atlas. I've heard we're getting a new engine, said Mox. That's why we've been called here. So he must be, or at least a mine engine design, because we are mine engines, said Atlas. Well, yes. I was also told the same thing Mox was, which was what? We're getting a new engine. Oh. Shh, here he comes now, said Jack. The engines looked off into the distance to see the new engine arriving. They saw a blue engine that was based off a mine engine design. However, he would not be fit for doing mine work, as he was completely made out of wood, which made him a bit useless for mine work, as I just said. And he was more useful for passengers, and he would always like it. He'd prefer passengers over goods any day. Hello, I'm Wooden Wheels. That's a strange name, said Jack. Yes, plus why are you pretty much me, but you're made out of wood and don't have a nameplate? And have a blue buffer beam, but red like thing on your buffers, said Alfred. Well, I don't exactly know. However, it is nice to be here. Also, yes, creator, you're not meant to be the buffers are meant to be blue, you know, on him, but when I was making the model for him, I couldn't exactly get the buffers to be blue, so yeah. Oh, anyway, back into the story. Yes, of course. Anyway, sorry about that. Out of script, sorry. Anyway, Mel, who are you? I said I'm Wooden Wheels. I'm completely made out of wood. You know, if I ever run out of coal, or if I ran out of wood, they just snap a bit of wood off me, and then I'm ready to go again. So pretty much you're unstoppable. You cannot really stop running. Yes, but if too much wood is taken off me, I will have to have an overhaul, he said. Oh, said Alfred. Say, what work will you be doing? Said Atlas. Oh, I'm not really one for mine work or goods work. I'm only one for doing the old passenger work. Oh, old passengers. I've only taken passenger trains not very often. I actually had to take one recently. Oh, yes, I think it was when I arrived, wasn't it? Said Jack. Oh, yeah, of course it was, said Mox. I think, said Mox. Oh, well, I must get to doing my job now. And what's that? Said Mox. Pulling passengers, of course. I am a tram engine after all. Oh, right. I think Jack was here to fill in place of another engine. I'm one of those engines that also fill in that place. Right. About that, we don't like to talk about those engines, said Atlas. Yes, I heard that team came up with an idea to crash one of them. You never told me you were that cruel, said Jack. We weren't, it was Tim's idea, said Alfred. Oh, said Jack. Can you tell me what happened to those engines, though? Said Wooden Wheels as he steamed up closer. Okay, if you say so, said Alfred. 2 engines were sent here. They never had a name, they were just nicknamed. One was called Jack, who went to the mines as a nickname. So Jack was his nickname, said Wooden Wheels. Yes, and the other one was another mine engine. Had a look of a mine engine, like one of us. However, he never really had a full job, as when he arrived, Duke not just pretended to be ill, but he was also ill, so he had to take the train. Well, what happened to them, said Wooden Wheels. Well, you see, Jack went to work at the mines, but we didn't know that's pretty much, well, shall we just say that they were ruse engines. What happened, said Wooden Wheels. We don't exactly know what happened to the mine-looking engine. All we really know from him was that he was sent away with Jack. Duke told us that he took out his train, but he never told us why Bernard, as he said they nicknamed him Bernard, left. However, we know what happened to Jack. What happened to him? Well, Tim had an idea, you see. It was to send him onto the mountain road, and because the railway's not really in its final form yet, it would be a great trick to tricking Jack. You see, the mountain road's very dangerous, and there was meant to be a bridge that was meant to be built, but the rails were never completely finished, so it just leads into water. Tim hasn't had a good history on the mountain road, and he prefers to stay in mines than actually take the trains, despite he was used to be always taking trains. But now he's got a cab that covers it up. He can head in the mines now, but this plan of his, shall we say, was not just silly, but it did actually work. In what way? Said Wooden Wheels. Well, you see, Jack had left the mines, and this was a thing that he hoped would work, that this idea would work. He soon went through the tunnel. The tunnel was curved and it was not full see-through, so you could not see what was on the other side until you got through it. And the tracks had not been set, and he tried to brake when he came out of the tunnel, as he was getting blinded by the sun. He was sent onto that track, but when he came to a stop, his front wheels came off the rails, but his weight pulled him off and he fell into the water. Now, what happened to him after that then? Said Wooden Wheels. Well, about that, he was pulled out of the water, but they never said what or who pulled him out of water. He was covered in seaweed on his front when he was pulled out there. Then it was pretty much Bernard who had shunted him to the sheds, from what we were told. So it was likely him who saved him. But then they were sent away and were never welcomed back. The controller, from what we were told, had strictly said, "You're no longer welcome here," said Alfred. Oh, said Wooden Wheels. Well, that is a bit tragic. I know, but still. Be glad you're not like them, said Alfred. Yes, I suppose. Anyway, I have my first train to pull. See you soon, said Wooden Wheels. See you, they all said. And Wooden Wheels steamed away to get his train. Soon Wooden Wheels arrived at the yard. This is a nice yard, he said. Then he came across 3 open cabbed coaches. They were all 3 of them were asleep. Hello, Wooden Wheels said quietly. The first coach yawned. Hello. The second one yawned as well. Hello. And lastly, the third one did. Hello. Excuse me, but are you in need? Or are you not busy yet? Said Wooden Wheels. We haven't been pulled in years, said the coaches. Then may I take you? Said Wooden Wheels. Oh yes, we would love to, said the coaches. By the way, who are you? Said Wooden Wheels. Well, I'm Ada, said the first coach. I'm Jane, said the second coach. And I'm Mabel, said the last coach. All right, well, let's couple you up together and me. So they coupled the 3 coaches together. And lastly, Wooden Wheels coupled up to them as well. Right, let's get you to the platform, he said. Oh, you're so charming, the coaches said. He had never been given such compliments. Passengers boarded the coaches and Wooden Wheels steamed off. He was a nice slow engine who went at a nice slow speed. It was just the right speed for the passengers to see all the sights of Sodor, especially the mid-Sodor. Oh, said the coaches. They were enjoying themselves. It had been such a long time since they had ever been pulled by an engine. We're so glad you were able to give us a ride. Thank you, said Ada. No problem, said Wooden Wheels. He stopped at the next station. All aboard, said Wooden Wheels. Oh, yeah, that's very charming, said Ada. Well, I suppose, said Wooden Wheels. What if we can become your coaches, said Jane. Oh, I don't know, said Wooden Wheels. Please, said Mabel. I'll ask the controller, said Wooden Wheels. Everybody was on board and the guard's whistle blew. Wooden Wheels blew his whistle and steamed off. Ah, he said, what a wonderful day. He came up to the next station. At this point, it was the only station on the railway to have 2 platforms. He came to a halt and passengers got on and some got off. Oh, it's not too much to go now, he said. Oh, don't worry, it's going to be safe. All you got to do is pass the old iron bridge, said Ada. Yes, it's a very dangerous but also old bridge, says Jane. Just be glad you never fell off it like pretty much, well, Duke did on his first goes on driving on the bridge, said Mabel. Okay, said Wooden Wheels. Of course, the episode where Duke fell off, derailed on the bridge, was not his first time driving on the bridge, but still, it was like it was his first time. Anyway, the guard's whistle blew and Wooden Wheels set off. Wooden Wheels was enjoying himself. And soon he came up to the old iron bridge. He went slowly, and the bridge was more safer than it was in Duke and the Magic Railroad. And with Wooden Wheels going over it, every time an engine would run over it, dust would steam off it, roll off it, and that was an amazing sight for him. Wooden Wheels would always find this quite satisfying. Passengers got on board and passengers went off board. The guards got in the coach again and he blew his whistle. Once again, Wooden Wheels blew his whistle and steamed off. "What a wonderful day it is," said Ada. "Yes, it is," said Jane. "I still hope we can become Wooden Wheels' coaches," said Mabel. People got off and people got on once again, and Wooden Wheels steamed off. Now, where am I meant to go? Shall I go on to one line or the other? "I think you should take the picnic line," said Ada. "Yes, I think you should as well," said Jane. "Yes, it's a very beautiful line," said Mabel. "The picnic line it is," said Wooden Wheels. The picnic line was also the line Duke's train ran on, but he knew the passengers would enjoy seeing it. Plus, he was told by Mabel it was a beautiful line. And she was right. It was so full of life and nature. The only things other than Wooden Wheels' puffing you could hear were the birds singing and many things that sounded like nature. Wooden Wheels even stopped for the passengers to listen to it. Nobody spoke, and Wooden Wheels just enjoyed himself. He even closed his eyes and listened to everything, and so did the passengers. He breathed in and breathed out. He felt refreshed now and carried on with his journey. He loved this line, and he wondered if the controller was letting him run on this line more. He then came across the picnic area. Sadly, this was Duke's job, and he would have stopped there if he could. However, he arrived where he began, on the first station he began at. And he saw the controller on the platform. Wooden Wheels, you have been really useful today, and sir, Ada, Jane and Mabel will want to, they want to pretty much be my coaches. Is that alright? Said Wooden Wheels. Of course it is. They have been out of order for a very long time, and we haven't been able to find a replacement engine, as we've been very busy, said the controller. Thank you. Now, I know your tram engine, and this may sound silly, but we'll need to give you tram modifications. Now, these modifications will be alright. Yes, it will, sir. Now, these tram modifications will mostly be cow catchers, as I know, even though you don't have cow catchers, you do need some if you're going to be a qualified tramp and you're going to be okay working on the railway. Well, of course, sir. Nobody's allowed to work on the railway without cow catchers if they're a tramp, pretty much, said Wooden Wheels. Of course. Now, I'll send you to the works to get those cow catchers. Ada, Jane and Maple? Yes, said the coaches. You may stay in the yard until Wooden Wheels gets back. Yes, sir, they said. Wooden Wheels put them back in the sidings. Of course, sir, said Wooden Wheels. So he reversed and put them back in the sidings. I'll be back, said Wooden Wheels. Please do, said Ada, Jane and Maple, and he steamed off. Soon Wooden Wheels returned. He had his buffers gotten rid of and he got new cow catchers. Oh, they are fancy, said Ada, Jane and Maple. And I told you I'd come back, he said. Of course he did. Wooden Wheels is happy working on the railway. He even asked the controller if he could work on Duke's line. He said yes, and he was now allowed to stop at the picnic areas. He enjoys his new life and wishes to stay on the railway forever. And this, he knew, was home.